I recently attended a large Italian wine event where I had the opportunity to taste dozens of Italian wines. While many were impressive, there was one particular region that kept standing out, and that was probably the biggest revelation from that tasting. And so the next underrated wine that I'm buying now is Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. And before we go any further, it's important that you don't get confused between Montepulciano, the grape, that's used to make Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, and Montepulciano, the Tuscan village, in which winemakers produce Vino Nobile di Montepulciano, which is a Sangiovese dominant blend. While Montepulciano has long been recognized as a workhorse grape that's used to produce large quantities of inexpensive wine from central Italy, it's also capable of making very high-quality wine. One scandalous example of that is that a few years ago, many well-known producers of Brunello di Montalcino were investigated for improperly including Montepulciano in their Brunello di Montalcino, which of course must be 100% Sangiovese. But they wouldn't have been able to do that and do that for as long as they had allegedly done so, unless the Montepulciano was capable of producing high-quality wine. Montepulciano d'Abruzzo is a large region that's located between the Apennine foothills and the Adriatic Sea. The Apennine foothills provide some rocky soils and some elevation and cooling influences, and this is where many of the best wines from Montepulciano d'Abruzzo are produced. Montepulciano d'Abruzzo can be a bold, tannic red wine that has substantial structure. According to the applicable requirements, these wines have to be made from at least 85% Montepulciano. One of the very best producers in Montepulciano d'Abruzzo is Valentini. Valentini definitely makes some of the most coveted wines for collectors from Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, and these wines all sell for super premium prices. Another great choice is the top wine from a producer named Pasetti, which I enjoyed last week, namely the 2015 Pasetti Harimann Montepulciano d'Abruzzo Riserva. This is an outstanding wine that's made from a small 2-hectare vineyard that's around 550 meters above sea level, and which has 80-year-old vines that produce extremely low yields. The result is an impressive, complex wine that's concentrated and intense, but which has some impressive freshness from the cooling influences that are experienced at this vineyard due to the Apennine Mountain influence. Another one of my favorite wines from the Italian tasting last week was the 2017 Capo Vigna Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, which is from Famiglia di Carlo. This was an extremely polished wine that had excellent tannin management and which was very well balanced. Despite its youth, it was already very approachable and extremely enjoyable. This wine was one of 9 that was included in a comparison tasting during my masterclass, and it was easily my favorite of that lineup.